It's just different.
Are you ready?
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 Are you ready for the afternoon refill?
It's the afternoon refill.
Afternoon refill.
It's the afternoon refill.
Afternoon refill.
You're tuned in to the afternoon refill with Toni T.
All right, what's good, everybody? It's your girl, Toni T, and we are back with the afternoon refill. Everybody give a round of applause. Yes, it's lit. We have another episode for you, and I'm super excited, being that we have a lot of conversations. I feel like actually 2020 brought us to a place where we had to discuss a lot. We felt a lot, and we started to share a lot of things that we started to realize about ourselves, about other people, about just the work industry, the workforce, and church. That's a huge topic that was birthed in 2020. And so we're going to talk about that. And race has always played a big part in American society and just in America in general. So we're going to dabble in that today regarding that. And we're going to talk about race and faith. And so today in the studio with me, I have my girl, Leslie. Everybody give a round of applause for Leslie. Yeah. And then to the left of me, I got my boy, LaDerrick. Everybody shout out LaDerrick. Yeah. So these two lovely people are here to discuss race and faith. They are going to share their perspectives and how they've been affected by race and faith, or one or the other. We're just going to talk about it. Powerful stuff. And so with that said, just straight off the bat, before we even begin, I would love to just have Leslie and LaDerrick share a little bit about themselves so y'all can get a little taste about who they are and how you can support them. So, Leslie, what would you like to share with the people?
Hi, my name is Leslie. I am Ghanaian American. I'm 30 years old.
Yes.
I was born in Germany. So that kind of shapes my worldview a little bit. You know, I'm into different cultures. I'm into different languages. I love learning all of that stuff. So this topic of race and faith is right up my alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so excited to have you here.
Wow.
Yes. LaDerrick, what about you, bro?
I'm 26, African American. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Been out in Massachusetts three and a half years.
Okay.
I'm a producer.
I was about to call you out.
If you didn't say that.
I'm a producer, I do
you out.
graphic art, I write a little bit, poetry, what I mean? Things like that. That's about it.
All right, that's dope. So we have people here from different places. We got my boy from Detroit. We got my girl from Germany. Well, she was born there. Raised a little bit. Yeah, raised a little bit. And so I would love to just dabble, because, not even just dabble. We're going to dive into it. I had to define, I love definitions of words because it helps to kind of put it into context, and especially when the word is being used. I feel like a lot of words are taken out of context. So just to bring it back into focus and get the general idea of what these terms mean, I decided to look it up. Wow. So the definition of faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. The second definition is strong belief in God or in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. Now, the definition of race, human race specifically, is the idea that the human species is divided into distinct groups on the basis of inherited physical and behavioral differences. So, boom, there it is. The definition of faith, the definition of race, right? And so my question to y'all is, just to kind of break that apart in a two-part question, is what are your thoughts on faith personally and your thoughts on race as two separate things? And then we'll dive into how you feel about them when they combine and what your experience has been with them together. So, LaDerrick, what are your thoughts on faith?
On faith.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, a little more information. I was raised in the church.
Okay.
Brought up in the church, So I understand what faith is, what it means. And, So my thoughts on it is that it now my thoughts now is that like it depends on you as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like your relationship with whomever or whatever religion or, you know, spirituality.
Yep.
Believe in, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have faith in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's just my thoughts on that.
Okay. And what about you, Les?
Faith. So faith has always been a part of my life, or as far as I remember. I was born in the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is really interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I used to go to church on Saturdays.
Yes.
So it's really interesting that that's like a denomination that was birthed in Michigan, actually. And Battle Springs? Battle something. Battle Creek, Michigan.
Come on. Yup. Let's help each other out. I like it.
So what's really interesting is how like that denomination somehow found its way in Ghana. And
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
It's really, so like a big chunk of my family still is Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay.
When I became 15 or 18,
Uh-huh.
that's when I was like, I don't know if this denomination is for me.
Yeah.
I do want to get serious about my faith
Yeah.
and not just have a faith just because my parents are into it. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So that thus started my exploration and stuff. But for me, as a Black woman, race and faith do go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because my experience in a Black body shapes my faith
Yeah.
in this country. You know what I mean? Like, it's so different from a white person's faith. Like, it just is.
Yeah.
Because of what we go through in this society,
Right.
basically.
Right.
I have comfort in knowing, like, I believe in Jesus. He was God-made man, born as a man, right? And he was a brown person. Jesus wasn't white.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't just a brown person, but a person born into an oppressive system. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can definitely liken my experience
Yep.
to the experience of Jesus,
Yeah.
which gives me comfort. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear that. Okay. And what about you in regards to like faith and race put together as a Black man?
Oh, that's hard.
I know. You gotta really like think about it. You gotta.
Well, what I believe is like a little more information y'all probably didn't ask for. But
Nah, go ahead and spill it, man. We here.
even though I was raised in the church,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? Currently now I'm not a religious person.
Okay. Yeah.
My beliefs, I don't like believe in like religion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I am spiritual.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with race and the connection between faith and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole thing, like how like back when, I'm gonna take it back during the slave times. You know what I mean? How they used Jesus in the Bible and things against us. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't want to dive deep into it, but you know what I mean? Like countless things I've read, you know what I mean, about like how they used, you know, religion against us and whipped us and yada, 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 you know what I mean? And then I believe that is still going on today, but in a different aspect, like mental.
Like it's morphed.
Yeah, it's more mental than like physical now. You know what I mean? And because you can easily go to like urban areas and you see like in Detroit, you see a church on every corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Church on every corner, a liquor store on every corner.
Across the street from the church. Right. Next door.
And you go to the rural areas or the white areas, you know what I mean? And you don't see a church on every corner. You don't see a liquor store on every corner. I mean, liquor stores is another, you know, conversation.
Yeah.
You don't see a church on every corner. You go up the street, you might see one church, but everybody in that community go to that church. But it's I don't know. It's like a kind of like a control thing. I look at it as like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't, you know, that's just where.
Yeah, that's your perspective. That's how you see things, and that's where And I think it's important that we share that because not everybody who's either listening or watching
Right.
has the same viewpoints as me or the same viewpoint as Leslie or yourself.
Right.
And for me personally, when somebody is able to share that they aren't religious or don't believe, I'm interested in hearing as to like what their experience is or, you know, or was that led them to this point and like what their thoughts are now. I'm just curious to know, you know what I'm saying? Like it's important for us to learn about each other
Right.
and how maybe something that I believe in maybe has to be deconstructed. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing that I feel like in 2020 has revealed was that there's a lot of deconstruction that needed to be done in order for us to, for most or some, I would say like I've been kind of in that deconstruction space for about like 2-3 years. But I am a faith-filled woman. Like I love Jesus and because I know him for myself. Like I've experienced things that like no one else can tell me like I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't tell me I didn't experience Jesus in this moment because wow. You know what I'm saying?
Can I cut in?
Yeah, please.
And I believe like I believe that, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You've had your own relationship with Jesus,
Yeah.
God, you know what I mean? But I believe that everybody has to have their own relationship
Yes.
with like God or Allah or, you know, universe or whoever you're praying to. You know what I'm saying? You have to have your own relationship
Right.
with that.
Right.
Outside of the church, you know what I'm saying, or outside of, you know, the place that you go for worship.
Right.
I mean, you have to be connected to that God or, you know, person, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of tagging along to
Yeah.
whoever it was that, you know, opened up the door for you to be a part. And I think about Leslie and sharing how her family is majority Seventh-day Adventist, but you were like, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, there's something not connecting, and I need to make sure it connects for me personally. And so would you mind sharing a little bit more just kind of about that experience and then just kind of maybe how the last couple of years have been in regards to race and faith? Do you feel like the conversation has definitely opened up? Because I feel like 2020 was like a big deal for a lot of people, especially not being in church and then suffering from a lot of like mental illness, whether it's, you know, depression or suicide and just having that deep desire to connect with whether it's a person or just a higher being. People just needed something deeper than that surface level stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we were stuck in a house or I don't know where else you were stuck in, but stuck in a house or somewhere, but you were stuck in isolation to some point. And so I feel like that just kind of raised the bar on how we move forward in the world and in what we believe in. And so, yeah, and I feel like it was also a testing time, especially because being Black, there was the way the church responded to a lot of the uprising in the media regarding what we've already known has been taking place for years. But because now it's being captured, I feel like the moves that I now have to make as a Black woman were different because I'm like, how did this church respond? Do I feel comfortable being in this space? But that didn't disconnect me from the person I was going there for, which is Jesus or God, who I was there to worship. But in regards to the environment, I wanted to be comfortable in the space that I'm in. And I wanted to be alongside like-minded people down to that belief that like,
Right.
we are one, we bleed red. You know what I'm saying? And we're all valuable. And
there's this thing that like the American church loves to do, which is just to like bleachify all of us. And like,
and what do you mean by bleachify?
Bleachify is to like erase our ethnic identities, basically. And it's just like, no.
Yeah.
You can't.
Simple as that.
We were all like created specifically.
Yes.
There's a reason why I was born into this Black body.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm going to worship for you, you don't worship with you. You don't have a right to just erase that.
Yeah.
Because it makes you uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to acknowledge the body that I'm in. You
Right.
have to acknowledge that, like, the Lord created me this way for a purpose.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something that I do relish in and I enjoy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in any other body.
Right.
I can't imagine myself in any other body.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just really interesting because what LaDerrick was saying about like how the Bible and Christianity was used as a tool to oppress us, you know?
Uh-huh.
So like, there's a lot of Black people just rejecting Christianity because who wants to align themselves with a tool of oppression? You know, it's completely understandable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we have figures like Nat Turner who read the word,
Yeah.
and Holy Spirit was like, hey, what these slave masters have been teaching you or what they've been convincing you to teach people, your fellow like enslaved brothers and sisters, is not right.
Yeah.
He really felt it in his spirit to like start that uprising.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like what they were using the word for was sinful.
Yeah.
To just keep us oppressed, to keep us curtailed and like just keep us in control. You know? And what's really interesting is that like the white church, if you like, let's say you're reading like Egypt, you know, Moses, and all of that.
Yeah.
White church really sees themselves as the Hebrews. You know? They see themselves as the Hebrews. They see themselves as the ones being oppressed. But like, from our perspective, they are the Egyptians. They're Pharaoh. You know what I mean? And it's that lack, it's that denial of that role.
Yeah.
Like, but the amazing thing about God, about Jesus, is that like, if you admit to yourself that like you're the oppressor, like I'm still gonna take you.
Right.
I still love you. Like, you have to repent. You have to acknowledge that.
Right. Acknowledge you're wrong.
Yeah. Acknowledge your, and it's not easy. And who knows if that will ever happen.
Right.
You know what
I ain't waiting.
No.
Right. Like I'm
You
not
really
sitting here
can't,
waiting.
and that's why like you really can't have hope. And white people, like you just can't.
We're not supposed to have necessarily hope in people in general. Like at all.
You have to have hope in like in God and like what he can do and
Right.
what
It goes beyond us.
it goes way beyond us.
Yeah. No, I love that. So thank you for sharing that and bringing that up and just kind of bringing those two together. I feel as though I had a thought and it literally just slipped my mind. I'm so tight.
We're growing old.
I know. 29 thoughts are slipping a lot more. It took a little bit to get down here. I'm trying. I'm really trying to think of what it was. I'm tight. Anyways. I think in regards to this conversation, there's a lot of people that honestly were told for the first time, or I don't know, I think they were introduced for the first time to this conversation. And a lot of white people or just non-Black people couldn't really understand where we were coming from. If you are in a church or in a space that you worship and the people alongside you that have been rocking with you for all these years aren't really rocking with you when there's a clear injustice, it's like, oh,
It
wow.
feels like a betrayal.
Yeah.
Like,
So uncomfortable.
absolutely. It
Right.
feels like a betrayal.
Right.
Like, oh, you really don't see me.
Like, at all.
You don't see me
Yeah.
at all.
Not at all.
Like,
Yeah.
what the script
It's crazy.
that you have about me is,
Right.
oh, she's a nice Black person.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's like different from them.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oof.
Or that I have a Black friend.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
that's my Black friend.
I thought about it and I said, yo, I hope I was never that Black friend, that one Black friend that they're talking about. Because then I'm like, now I feel as though you're using that as a tactic.
My
to
best
say,
friend's Black.
you know, like say and do whatever you please.
Right.
And that is not appropriate. But I feel like that conversation definitely took an uprising in 2020. And I don't feel like it needs to stop. Like, I feel like we have to continue this conversation to really seek change.
Right.
And so I'm curious to know, like, for you personally, how do you feel like you're moving forward and making changes? Like, are you talking about it? I know you be posting some stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
depending on what you see or think, my brother's gonna share it on that story, man. You feel me? And I love to see it though, because I feel like a lot of people won't. They'll be very reserved in sharing their perspective or opinions about it because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. But it's something that's like really triggering or it's hurtful, you know? And it was so funny because I remember when I feel like, not that we switched, but there was, I forget what year it was, and it was pre-COVID. And so I think it was like 2018, 2019. And I started to just be in an uproar like, what is happening? Like I started to notice things, whether it's within church or just outside of church, and just being Black. And I was just like, I feel the need to talk about this more. And
there was a time where I was just like, when we first met, and I would bring up like white people, and I'm like, oh, white people, I'd be like, I could tell like Toni would get like uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh no, she's not there yet. And I brought it up to her one time.
Something that Rowan, so she said that
oh, I like that you call her Rowan. You can't use her full name. Girl, you got you one. Okay, anyways.
Why you gotta be like this? It's so embarrassing.
Proceed, LaDerrick. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
What'd she say?
So she said that something that like irritates her is like the fact that like Black people try to make white people comfortable when they don't care about if we're comfortable or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's valid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
super valid.
Like, especially up here. Like it's very weird.
Isn't it so passive?
It's very weird because
let's talk about it.
Like I've been to New Orleans. I've stayed in New Orleans for a year. New Orleans is like my second home. My mom is from there, right?
Yeah.
So back and forth. So I've seen the Southern racism. Yeah. The very in your face there.
It's overt.
The N-word. Yeah. You know, things like that. And the Midwest is not as crazy as that, but it's still, you know that they don't like you.
Right.
But here it's more of a like, maybe they like me, maybe they don't.
You won't know until a defining moment.
It's very low key.
Like I was telling my auntie, I was like, it's crazy because like, I don't know if y'all know, I've stayed here before. I went to middle school here.
You did?
In Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to middle school at Brockton. I don't know how much y'all know, but you know, I went to 7th and 8th grade there.
Okay.
But I had a lot of white friends. Like Detroit is a chocolate city. New Orleans is a chocolate city. Yeah. Majority Black for the ones that don't know.
Right. Let them know.
So I've never went to school with a white kid ever.
Oh wow.
Up until probably about 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Down south, we had like 2 or 3 white kids that went to the middle school down there.
Yeah.
Up in Massachusetts is just
all white and a few Black people.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and not even maybe like fully Black.
It was like
just different ethnicities mixed in.
Yeah.
You got that one Asian.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is like I had a lot of white friends or white kids that I thought were my friend until I got older. And then I seen a lot of the closet racism, and then a lot of the things like when I wasn't woke. Now I'm militant. I'm sorry. I'm militant. You know what I mean? So I'm, like you said, on social media, in person, I'm going to call out certain things. It's going to make people uncomfortable. Yeah. White people and Black people that like to make white people comfortable. You know what I mean? So I didn't start seeing these things that my quote unquote white friends were doing and saying until I became like more aware of a lot of things about myself and about them and about the things that they've done to us and are doing to us right now at the moment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, that's crazy. And then my second time being here as a kid, you know, you never see the whole picture. Right. As an adult, you're like, wow, I never really paid attention to it. You know what I mean? Now I just see everything. And it's like, here it's like racism is so different. And to be honest, I believe that people here are more racist than down south and in Detroit.
It's very interesting.
It's
You know?
crazy.
How racism like functions very differently in the regions of America.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, like this country is founded on racism.
yeah,
Period.
yeah.
You'll go to churches and they'll tell you the founding fathers were Christian. They were not. Shut up. They weren't Christian.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Shut up. They weren't Christian, and they all owned slaves.
Yeah.
Everything that was created in this land
Yeah.
was for the progression and the betterment of white bodies. Period. Even in the churches,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I think even just kind of bringing that, just kind of tying that together in regards to church and regarding just race, there was one statement that you had said about Black people who still like to make white people comfortable.
Right.
And I don't necessarily think it's a likeness. I think it's more so of just like this has just been my lived experience. This is just what I'm used to doing.
Being you were
Conditioned
Yeah.
to make others feel comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To kind of dim your shine.
Yeah.
Or to just kind of dial it down, dial it back, tone it down, like to the point where the way you wear your hair or how you dress, the things that you like are highly influenced by how people are going to respond. And it should never be like that, you know?
Yeah, it's
What you wanna
very
say?
interesting because, like I mentioned earlier, how I was born in Seventh-day Adventist,
Uh-huh.
right? And Christianity was used to colonize and conquer,
Yeah.
you know. And it's really interesting because it's like in America, like race and faith isn't just an American thing; it's like a global thing, right?
Mm.
And like in Ghana, the particular ethnic group that I'm from is like, it's Akan. But if you break down Akan, it's Asante.
Uh-huh.
So like my family's Asante. There's a little bit of Fante. That doesn't matter. At the end of the day, white people came to Ghana, right?
Uh-huh.
British people came to Ghana and they bought Christianity and stuff like that. And now Ghana is like so heavily Christian, you know?
Mm.
But like in the middle of that, with us becoming so Christian, I feel like we've lost a lot of our mythology,
Mm.
right? But I feel like we've also been conditioned to think that our own cultural mythology and folklore is demonic.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
Oof.
I love you.
Which-
said that. Yeah.
It's not.
Mm.
I can't believe that my culture, that I'm born into the stories and our customs and our traditions, is demonic
Yes.
because some white man came and didn't completely understand
Mm.
how we function. Like,
Yeah.
no. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Like,
Right.
that's just
I ain't never even thought about it.
impossible.
Yeah.
Like, and then like you have like other Africans saying like, hey, well, this one, yeah, is demonic. Like, don't be doing this. I'm like, no, like you can learn about
Yes,
your cultures and
right.
your traditions and not get involved in the woo-woo.
Exactly.
Right. right.
Something else too, like it's so commercialized to like
Uh,
bash what we have.
what isn't understood?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and they don't even understand that like with everything you have the good and the bad.
Right. Right.
So yes, like I'm gonna bring it up, voodoo, right?
Uh-huh.
So down in New Orleans, there's a lot of voodoo down there.
Mm-hmm.
So it can even be chalked up that like remedies. These can just be remedies, you know, remedies. You know what I mean? Whatever,
Mhm.
whatever.
Like ginger ale and Vicks.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah.
I just had to say it.
So yeah, like these could just be remedies, right?
Leslie's judging me.
With any remedy or anything that like you do, you can mix something bad and make
Yeah.
kill or
Right.
toxic or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm just saying, like it like it don't make sense like to like put like make the whole thing bad just because you don't understand.
Mhm.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You don't understand it, so you make everything, the whole thing bad, but not even seeing the beauty that can be in this, right?
Right.
That we made it work without like technology or like without like, like everything that we have now, and they're still making it work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you still don't understand it. So you say, oh, that's not valid, or that is bad. That's voodoo. That's just dark. That's, that's of the devil or of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's a lack of willingness to learn.
In Haiti, like voodoo was used as a tool of resistance, like for them to gain their independence and the freedom from the French. Like it's not all just evil. It just I can't believe that. There's like so much lost to me growing up Ghanaian American. There's so much I didn't learn because like I was raised here. And then also because of the involvement of white people. And then like in America, you had like white people come, they call it the white man's imperative, right? We come, we colonize, and then we proselytize to you as well. You're gonna get this word, no matter how you're gonna get this word. That it just led to the the decimation of indigenous people on this land.
Right.
And it's like all this done in the name of faith and religion. Hey, come on, cough it out.
You good?
You okay?
Yeah.
Good. 911.
Speed up.
Yeah, let's take a break.
I'm good. We still rolling?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'm good.
Okay.
Leslie, you can proceed. I'm so sorry.
What keeps me holding on to Christianity, despite, everything that's done in the name of Christianity,
Yeah.
is the fact that...
That is nothing like Christ.
What?
Like everything that's done that isn't Christ-like.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, what do you mean? But like, what keeps me holding on, despite my experiences personally with Jesus, is like me knowing that Jesus didn't come down here as a white man.
Not at all.
He was purposely born in the Roman Empire as a brown person. He understands what it's like to be oppressed. He understands that struggle. Even like the way he was unjustly, unfairly tried, put in a trial and then executed. Like, if you just mirror that to Black bodies here. What's that? When we were fighting for Julius Jones, right? The man that was about to be executed in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Wild.
Crazy. Like, that's what keeps me holding on, because Jesus, he knows, he understands, he lived it. He was a symbol of resistance. Like, yeah.
Yeah. You had mentioned earlier on about race being a global thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because I heard the total opposite in regards that race is an American thing. In order to just have that divide, because in other countries you have the majority is the people from that country.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Race does function differently from country to country to country.
Right.
To country. It just does. Like,
right.
Race is different from how like Brazil is set up. Brazil, their system is different. It don't even make sense to me. But I personally believe it's like a global thing, and it just functions very differently. Yeah. But one thing that's in common is anti-blackness.
Oh, right. What they're gonna do? We're not gonna like black people.
Like,
and I can agree with that.
It's wild.
It's like the racism or the race is different. Like, globally, you know what I mean? Even though I haven't been out the United States yet.
Yet? Okay, y'all, come on.
Yet. You know what I mean? Just to see, like, the world is a small place now because of social media. So you can see what's going on in other countries and stuff like that, or you can get an idea, from the people.
Yeah.
I mean, so I can agree with her. Like, it is a global thing, because like in these other countries, like I can say for like Cape Verde.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I can't even say over there because a lot of Cape Verdeans from Cape Verde, they know that they're of African descent.
But then there's a lot that don't.
But
I'm just saying.
yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true.
There's a lot
That's
that don't.
true. And I think
That's crazy.
I think that's something internal
Yeah.
internal
It's ingrained.
in Cape
It's
Verde,
messy.
you know what I mean? And then like you like I've heard from people like black people that stay like in places like China and Japan, you know what I mean? Is they treat us different there. You know, they'll call them like, oh, are you a basketball player, or you know what I mean, like weird,
Just
like
it's just based off
like,
the stereotypes.
yeah,
that they
like
see.
weird
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or like a black person to get on the train, the train, and the Asian person would get up and move and go somewhere else. Or I even heard that they call us dirty over there or something like that because our skin is darker, you know what I mean, and if you was like I was following this one Blasian girl, black and Asian.
Okay. Just to clarify.
clarify.
Definition of Blasian, black and Asian.
There's one Blasian girl on like Instagram, and she was just, like giving her own experience being there. I think her dad was Asian, her mom was black or something like that, and they would like the Asians, like the lighter skinned Asians or white Asians. They would like what's the word that I'm looking for? I can't like not accept her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would like talk about her like, oh, you're weird, or you know what I mean, because you're not like
So they see her as black. They don't see her as black and Asian. They just see her as black.
Anti-black.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the only Blasian that I've heard that from. You know what I mean? That's been over there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you gotta think about that in places like probably like London or the UK, like because it looks, everything is supposed to look good on the TV, right?
For sure.
You know what I mean? But when you actually get there, it's a different story. Like, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, have y'all seen a movie based in Detroit other than BMF?
What's BMF?
Black Mafia Family.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
All right, so other than BMF.
There is that movie, Detroit.
She's like, just to correct you,
It's
there's another movie.
No. There's a lot
But
of movies.
But in regards to what the storyline is or what the perspective is of Detroit,
they show Detroit in a different aspect than what it actually is. You know what I mean? Like, they clean it up. They make it pretty. Like what they just did on Mass Ave probably like a month or two ago for like the elections. You know what I mean? Like Mass Ave, and I don't know, like I keep forgetting.
it's always done up in order to fit the
I
kind
keep
of.
forgetting this is Rhode Island. I'm
Oh yeah,
but
it's all good. It's all good.
Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Mass Ave is like, you know, it's Mass Ave. It's methadone mile, right? Tent City. Just a lot of homeless.
Mass
Boston.
Yeah, and
A street in Boston that's just filled with meth.
yeah.
That's what he said.
That's what they call it. That's what they call it.
I'm just repeating what the man said.
And I can't be biased and be like, oh no, it's not like that, because I'm not from there.
Right.
I come and I see it and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. We don't have that in Detroit because we have like abandoned houses that they can go to.
Right.
They don't have houses.
Right.
But back to what I was saying about like how they make things pretty, you know what I mean, for certain things, you know what I mean, and you know it's nuts, like cause like the way they just make things look pretty just for the TV or just to bring people in.
It's easier to make things look good rather than to like actually put in the work to change.
Right.
To change it.
So
Because the change takes time.
yeah, so like that's why I really love what happened like over the pandemic, right? Because it gave everybody a chance to look at themselves and look at what was going on, right?
Yeah.
And be like, well, this is not right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even over in where was that? Where the SARS thing, where that happened, and
It was in Nigeria, wasn't it? SARS?
Yes.
Like
right.
even over there, like they had time to look and like this is actually wrong. This is not right. You know what I mean? But for us, we like for us that haven't been there or don't have family there, we might have never known that was going on because of the way they make things look. They make things look pretty, or well, for Africa, they don't make things look pretty. You know what I mean? They make things look messed up. But that's another story, another conversation.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of conversations that can be birthed off of certain statements that were, stated here in today's conversation. But in regards to just race and faith, I just appreciate y'all for sharing your perspectives. I would love to just kind of have an actual panel of different ethnicities sharing their personal experience regarding race and faith, their perspectives, and just kind of how they grew up, and just kind of how they see race play into their faith or faith played into their race. Because I don't think it's something that's necessarily discussed. It hasn't been for a long time. And I honestly feel like millennials, we're the ones to kind of set a lot of these things off, because as we're living it and growing older, we're like, this is what y'all been doing? For instance, like a 9 to 5, y'all really think this is okay? It's normal? That's just my personal gripe. But yeah, personal gripe. Student loans, I think we can all agree, trash.
Yep.
But there are things that we are noticing as a collective that we're saying, wow, this isn't okay. What are we going to do to change it, and who's with me? You know what I'm saying? Of course, there are some people who see what's wrong, don't really care. Some people see what's wrong and do the absolute most, instead of actually taking the proper steps to get to where we need to be or where we want to be. And so I think conversations like this play a part in the progression, play a part in our growth just as people, and just hearing each other's perspectives and just learning more about what we go through in order to make changes in the spaces that we're in. Because anybody who's listening or watching today can hear what we're talking about and not be black and say, yo, based off of Leslie, LaDerrick, and Toni's experience, the way y'all talking is crazy. I never thought about it, or I've never thought it because I was just living and growing in this space all my life. But because of that person's experience, I can now say what we've been doing all this time is wrong. So now we don't necessarily have to be the ones put in that space or place to speak on it. We're using this platform to do that. You know what I mean? To spread the word by just sharing our perspectives. So thank y'all so much for coming through. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, LaDerrick. Let's give a round of applause for these people, man. It's been super cool to have them on the show. Now, if you are interested in just, dabbling in this conversation, engaging, don't hesitate to comment below the YouTube channel. Comment below on this video. Comment below on Instagram, on Facebook. You can even comment on Twitter. Let us know your thoughts about race and faith. Share your perspective, your experience, and use that hashtag #RaceFaith, and just let us know your thoughts about it. And again, your personal experience and perspective, because I would love to hear it. But follow us if you haven't. Again, it's your girl Toni T, and this is the Afternoon Refill.
Yeah.